Alright, here we are guys, back again for another live stream. It seems to be happening every week at this stage. We're getting a lot of good responses to the questions on Instagram there, giving me enough to actually do a live stream every week, which is good. I'm starting to see a lot of them are repeat questions, but that's alright. I'd rather answer them continually. If it starts to get to a point where I'm being asked the same question every week, I'll just do a separate video on that. So the answer's out there. It's much easier to say an answer and explain over video than it is to text a response. So that's why I enjoy doing these Monday live streams. Anyway, I'll give it a minute just to wait for anyone to join into the chat before we start. Jihad, again, we're having a few issues with these, a bit of connection issues today. Lockie, we are answering some more questions that got sent through to Instagram. So, Mick, how are we going? Yeah, well, that's that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a few people in there that don't actually follow the channel, that people I've never really seen before, and asking questions in there. It's kind of weird how the Instagram algorithm kind of works. Hey, Ed, how you doing there, mate? Alright, so let me see how many questions we actually have today. Well, like I said, Mick, there's a few questions on there that are kind of like repeat questions. Like I get asked, I wouldn't say exactly the same question all the time every week, but you know, like there's a few that are repetitive or about the same things that pop up a lot. So you know, if it gets to that stage where the same questions are being asked every single week, then I might just have to do its own video on it, on those frequently asked questions, to have the answer out there. Because sometimes people, as much as the live streams are helpful, people don't want to sit through a 45-minute live stream after just to get the answer to one question, especially if it's a frequently asked one. All right. "25 questions today to answer," so very similar to last week. And like I said, a couple of them are sort of lap ups and sort of a double ups of last week's questions, but that's all right. I'm happy to still answer them again. Alrighty, so I think it's time to get into these questions. So we'll start off with this one's here. So, first question of the night. So this is one I get asked a fair bit. What size and brand are the tires on the Pajero? So they are Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack mud terrains. They're just standard mud terrains. They're not the ones with the Kevlar sidewall, although I would like to try them out one day. They are 285/70R17, so they're a 33-inch tall tire. Yeah, Mika's definitely done well to get a decent amount. So yeah, back to the tires. I get asked that question all the time. You don't usually see a Pajero rolling around with those tires. You know, those are the tires you commonly find on the bigger trucks, like the Cruisers and the Patrols and stuff like that. The main reason being that you need to lift a Pajero to put those tires on that car. Those other bigger trucks, like some Cruisers and some Patrols and stuff, you don't need to lift them to put that on. So, but with that being said, also the 285 or the 33s are the biggest size tire that you can put on a Pajero. I'm going to say legally, because you would be able to fit 35s, although then you would need to fit a body lift or a spacer, which are illegal. So, and they also make the car drive like absolute crap. So they are 33s. I would say that they're a very common size tire for off-roading. A lot of and that's kind of why I went with them, because when you're doing these remote trips to places, 33s are probably the most commonly stocked tire size for a four-wheel drive in some of the more remote places, like maybe Cape York or some shops up in the Kimberley, stuff like that. Yeah, 31s they are, but with 31s you just don't get the clearance that I wanted. I wanted that extra inch of clearance, so they are 33s. No, definitely not, Mick. I'd have to disagree with that. The 31s they just looked completely out of proportion with the suspension lift. They looked absolutely tiny. I mean, the 33s, they suit the look of the car perfectly. They are the right proportion to that. However, going back to the stock ride height, I agree. If your car is stock, then obviously the 31s will look the best, because that's the best proportion. If the car was lifted any bigger than it is, I'd say that the 35s would look the best. It all really depends, for me at least, on how much your car's lifted, how big the tires are that you're going to put on it. So up next is my favourite fishing spot. I got asked this last week. This is more of a Jared question. So I would have to say there's a difference between our favourite and go-to. For me, my favourite, I didn't even fish there, but it'd have to be Bateman's Bay, where we caught all those Jared caught all those nice brim down there. That was an awesome experience. Even just watching it, even just watching it from the sidelines there and filming Jared and Ray catching all that brim, that was awesome. And like I said, I haven't really been to too many spots fishing. We just have our little set kind of spots like Mooney or Tuggerah. But if we have a good opportunity, then definitely I'd say Bateman's Bay. That was awesome. But second to Bateman's Bay, I'd say Tuggerah Lake. I mean, the fish activity there is just insane. It's one of those places that you cast out, and then within 5-10 seconds on a good day, you've got yourself bites, and it's fun. It's really fun. It's that style of fishing, like up at Tuggerah Lake, is good for people who are not patient. So Jared and I are very different in that sense. Jared is very patient. He can sit there all day and all night. I can't. I get bored way too quickly. Ah, yes, I'm pro. Hello. How you doing? Alrighty. When's the next adventure? Well, again, whenever I can actually go. Still, restrictions are preventing that from happening at the moment. Can't really go anywhere. So, after that one. When are you going camping with the boys again? Well, kind of the same question there, to be completely honest. Whenever I actually can. So, because the boys live down in Sydney and I'm out here, we're in different kind of areas. So, they're all in Greater Sydney. I'm in regional New South Wales. So there'll be different sets of restrictions for them and me. So I'd say it's probably going to be leaning towards the end of the year. We're really hoping this end of year trip can still go forward, but I'm going to say it's probably going to be around that time. So when are we going to see Viking stickers for sale? When I can get around to making ones that size, like Unpro and Mud Ducks stickers behind me there, when I can actually get around to making those, if people are interested in the huge big banner stickers that I have, I can organize those, but they are a little bit expensive. But for sale in a large quantity, well, I just feel like I don't have the audience yet to start selling them. I would definitely be happy to give them out, though, if I ever started making them. I guess it's on the cards. I really haven't sat down yet and done that. I guess it's probably something I need to do, design a sticker, but I just haven't got around to it yet. So my burgers was the best. Yeah, well, look, I think this person is right. I think that they got the most. I think they got the most votes on that one. I'll be revealing at the end. Oh. Was mixed burgers dog food? Well, right. Jeez, there's a little bit of competition going on here. Well, look, they have to go through rigorous standards to be eligible for dog food. So no, I'm joking. No, mixed burgers were not dog food. God, oh, keep that one anonymous. That's for sure. So, what rooftop tent am I going with? I got asked this last week. Drifter Wildlands, Desert Cruiser, same thing. You know, the awesome rooftop tent. Hey, Shad, how you doing? Oh, good to see you on here, Shad. Oh, Mick, yeah. Look, they've asked me to keep their identity anonymous, but you know, that was definitely a good one, unexpected. Um, is Shad going to be disqualified for not cooking? No, we're not going to disqualify Shad for not cooking because that's what you have kids for. You have kids to make them do the work for you, isn't that right? I mean, you know, if I had kids, I'd make them cook the burgers for me too. You know, it's just how it is. All right. Will you do a video detailing trip you mentioned in your By the Fire? We have definitely thought about this, potentially. We're still trying to iron out a few details of where we want to kind of go. So we're thinking about it. I will probably do a video once we figure it out and a little bit closer to the date. Just kind of one of those ones in preparation, so maybe a trailer of some sort or something like that. It's definitely on the cards, but I'm just not sure because I could end up doing a video on it and then we would have to change something. When is the next rig rundown coming? It's currently in the works at the moment. I've got a lot of gear. I've got a lot of gear coming in together at the moment, and it's kind of just waiting on one piece of gear, and that's the roof racks to start everything off. You guys are really trying to figure out who asked that question. God, yeah, no. I'm just waiting on the roof racks. Then I'm going to start putting everything on and putting everything in, and then I'll be doing the next rig rundown. After I do that, I'll also be doing a rig rundown on Lockheed's Patrol and Jake's Navara coming up to our end of year trip. And anyone else who wants a rig rundown or an excuse to leave Greater Sydney, let me know, and we can get some essential maintenance happening on your vehicle, and we can do a rig rundown. Has Jared upgraded his fishing setup? Yes. He's always upgrading his fishing setup, I have to say. Jared's famous lie that he always tells is, "Oh, that'll do me for now, man." And I guess you know he's lying because as soon as he sees a good deal on something, he's like, "Hey, I know I said that I wasn't going to get anything else, but I got this on special." And so yes, he's upgraded. It's kind of like me. I say, "Oh, that's enough for now," and then I say, "Hey, look, I got this good deal." Hey Ray, good to see you, mate. Yep, everything's going well still all locked up. So to finish answering that question, Jared has now upgraded to a Shimano River Raider flathead, a nice lightweight graphite rod. It's kind of in their similar to their River Raider barra rods that they do. Awesome little one there. It's got a nice matte finish on it, and he's just gotten a Shimano Stratic. reel that he is dying to use because he bought it and he hasn't been able to do it yet, like to do anything with it yet. So he's really keen on that. Now, Mud Duck is doing Shad 76 soon. Ah, that's good. Yeah, I've got to give Steve my car for a day too. At some point when I actually finish it. But you know, I'm the type, I guess you can all relate, that will never finish it. Probably it's always going to be a work in progress. But I want to get a few more things on before I give Steve my car for a day. You know, and hopefully that'll be shortly. Yeah, look, Shad, they're not bad from what I've seen of mine. I set it up in the lounge room because I can't set it up on the car yet. Had a bit of a snooze in there, and I'm pretty happy with it. So much more space in that rooftopper than putting the swag out on the roof. Unpro is keen for some dog food. Well, we'll see how you go in the chicken cook up. Unpro, you might be producing something. We'll see. When you go back to Lithgow, I'll be going back to Lithgow. That will probably be one of the first trips that I do. I really want to head back down that way. Whereabouts in there that I'll stay, I don't know yet. I really want to camp up the end of Sunnyside Ridge and out at the Lost City. Just actually camp there for a night. Yeah, Ray, I'd love to do that, mate. Absolutely. Well, we'll be here still, don't you worry. We're sticking around. We're fanging to get back out there. Definitely. And definitely get back down to Bateman's Bay. I don't know how that spot will still be, because we went there and then a few weeks later, if you remember that super storm that ripped the coast, actually would have probably caused that little inlet there. It caused the block in the beach. The water would have been high enough for fish to get in and out of there. So it'll be interesting to see what that weather event, the impact that it had on that little fishing spot. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. And when we do go back down there, I want to actually camp down near that spot there. There was a little caravan down there on the last powered site, or even unpowered, doesn't bother me, right down next to that little pond where we were fishing there, because that was awesome. We still haven't had a better fishing experience since then. No, Steve, I did not get the mattress upgrade in the tent. Just kind of going to see how it goes for a little while. If I feel like I need it, then I will. But I should be alright for now. It's just going to depend on how I want to run it. If I want to run my bedding in there, or if I want to take it out, I guess I'll know when I start using it. The night lockdown ends, boys are going straight to noons. Absolutely, yeah. It'll be like an announcement, and then 2 seconds later, I'll be in the car and be there. No doubt about it. I will definitely be hitting Shad up for some spots in Lithgow, and I would assume that women hit him up all the time, Steve. I'm just saying, probably, Are you going to complete your plan series on the bridle track? Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to. The bridle track is within my local government area, so I guess I'm quite lucky that my local government area spans across like 30,000 square kilometres instead of, what some in Sydney do, but I don't think that we're allowed to camp. So I do plan on finishing that when I can actually get back down there. I don't really want to do it all at once. I'd like to showcase a little bit of it, let that video get out there for everyone to see, and then continue to do them as time goes on, and mixing them in between other trips as well, because it's really an awesome little spot down there. Who won the burger cook-off? Okay, hold your horses, all right. That announcement is coming. What setup do you use to edit? We just have a MacBook Pro. That's pretty much it. It's 5-6-year-old MacBook Pro. Got Jake helping me do some editing too. He's on an iMac, a very fancy iMac with like 2 terabytes of RAM or something, all that fancy stuff. But for me, it's just a little old MacBook Pro. It does me well. I can edit on the road and whatnot. Are there any plans to head back to Yulwal? Absolutely. Man, I loved Yulwal. It was so awesome down there. I'd love to get another adventure in down there. Coolest camp memory is probably my first camp memory that I have really with Jared. I've got tons of memories from when I was a kid caravanning around, but from camping, I'd say it was our first ever trip. We were like 16. Jared and I were first ever trip without an adult there, and we were on Bennett's Ridge campground in the Yurokka campground. So Mick, Yurokka campground is the one that you're planning on going to in your little trip down there. Beautiful spot, actually. This was our go-to spot. So whenever we'd go camping, we'd go to Yurokka, and there's a little jelly bean pools up there. Beautiful spot. So we were down on Bennett's Ridge campground, which is when you go down in there, it's at the very back. And, my dad stayed the first night, and then he left, and then left Jared and I there for 2 nights. Anyway, it was a pretty basic setup. We just had the swags, and esky at the end of the feet of our swags in the middle, and that had all of our stuff in it anyway. I don't know what we did wrong, but that night around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, Jared was woken up to probably like 3 to 4 meters away, a dingo howling. And so this is Jared's recount of the story. So he told me the dingo started howling, and the next minute another one, and another one all started howling all around our campsite. So we were the only people on Bennett's Ridge campground. There was no one on Apple Tree Flat. So the closest people, probably like 200, 300 meters away down on the other campground. So here we are in this campsite, 2 swags, the old coffin style swags too. It's not like the Big Daddy Deluxe where it's got the pole down the middle. It's they're the slope ones. And so you've got Jared who's sitting up in his swag absolutely shitting himself, and me who slept through the whole thing, right? So here are these like 6 or 7 dingoes howling around, and Jared reckons that something scared him off after about 35 minutes of howling. Something he heard out there scared them off, something big. So don't know what that could have been. Dingoes are the apex predator in this region in Australia, but he reckons something scared him off, and then they went away, and he was not able to fall back to sleep. Anyway, the next morning, I just roll out of bed, like just getting out of bed, and he goes, he looks like he hadn't slept. He's, and then he says to me, "Did you hear that last night? How crazy?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he tells me the story. I'm like, bullshit. Didn't believe him at first. And then the next night, here we are, sitting out cooking dinner. All we hear off in the distance is how starting off again down the distance. And since that day, every single time that we've been back there to Yurokka campground, we have had some kind of encounter with those dingoes. We hear howling. They've come down onto other campsites that we've been on, and fittingly, whenever we go there, we're always the only people there. And it seems like these kind of things happen when we are the only people there. When there are heaps of other people around, this stuff doesn't seem to happen. We've been there a couple of times, and there's been heaps of people, and we've had absolutely no wildlife experience. But typically when we're the only people there, that's it. They come down to scare us all. Yeah, Shadow Black Panther. Yeah, God, I hope not. I would much rather deal with the dingoes and something like that. I've heard about that little urban legend. Whether or not believe it's true, it's interesting, but I don't know. I like mysteries though. Yeah, Steve, I reckon that it must have been. Surely it had to be a drop bear that scared off those dingoes. I mean, people really, they don't understand the risk of drop bears when we're out here in the bush. You know, like you could just be walking along anywhere doing any of your daily activities, and you could be attacked by a drop bear, and it's a really serious threat, and people really need to be aware. You know, I had to tell some Swedish backpackers that were up there once about the drop bears, and you know, and they didn't take me seriously, and yeah, they just put themselves in incredible danger when they don't research about the drop bears. The last time I was at Jellybean, I was getting driven back in a tow truck. Oh, I remember that, Jake. Yes. You've had some unfortunate luck with tow trucks. Luckily, that time it wasn't your car. I remember hearing that the big patrol had to pull Jake's girlfriend's car up the hill at Rio. Big patrol had to pull it up because something went wrong, and then they had to get it towed home. Oh, Mick, you'd be absolutely terrified having to be pulled by a Land Rover Discovery. You're kidding me, right? Unpro, we were down on Red Gum Campground in Euroka Campground, and it just like Little Murray and Barrington Tops. It must attract a lot of backpackers because they come in and they set up little hiking tents and they got backpacks on and they just, you know, waltz off in the morning or whatever. So I had to warn them about the drop bears. Otherwise, they would have been on the trail or something like that, and they just would have had one fall on their head. And then what do they do? You know, it's just, yeah. You're a big fan of Swedish backpackers. Oh, right. Yes, okay. Who do you go camping with the most? I would say, besides my family or my dad, Jared. Definitely Jared and I, since before 2017, I would say my dad, mum and dad, and brother. And after 2017, it's been a mix of both. Most of the trips have been with Jared, but Dad's also come along a lot for the trips. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, Jared is the main person I go camping with. Other than them two, the boys, of course, Jake and Lockie, have been around a couple of camping trips. What made you want to put more effort into your videos? Mainly trying to inspire other people to do what I was doing, because I seen that we had a few people over times. Jared and I would go somewhere, we'd take some photos and post it up. People would see what we were doing, and they would often ask us questions. They'd come to us for advice. These are just people that we knew, and I thought, look, at that time I was just doing like home videos and stuff, so I'd post my videos up on YouTube, not really edited, and then I'd be able to delete the photos and videos off my phone. And then I said, look, people that we know here are starting to really take notice of what we're doing and ask us for advice, ask us where to go, ask to come with us. So I thought, heck, why not put more effort into the videos, actually edit them a little bit better, make them shorter, and make people interested in them, to actually inspire them and show them how easy it is to do this stuff themselves. They don't necessarily need, even though people come and watch the video to get inspired, they don't need us to take them or us to tell them where to go. You can just watch the video and be inspired by that, and all the information is there, and it's all ready for you to watch in a really nicely edited video, instead of just watching some home video that's like 5 hours long. So that was kind of my goal with putting more effort into the videos, as well as it actually makes them, for me and for Jared, looking back on some of our trips and memories, when they're edited a little bit better and when the effort is put into the videos, it actually makes the memories of the trip come back better, a little bit more enjoyable. I'm encouraging Swedish backpackers to go camping with me. No, I wouldn't say that. Don't have enough room in the car. Hello, Arbrain. How you doing, mate? Make home movies. No, the days of home movies are way past me. Yeah. If I made any home movies like that, they wouldn't be released on YouTube. Do you have a cameraman in some of your videos, or is it all solo? This depends. A lot of them are solo. A lot of the newer ones are solo. However, if you ever see me on a group trip, a lot of the time I've got Jared out with the GoPro, or sometimes Jackson or Tomsy has the GoPro. And in some of the older videos, they were literally taking this monster instead of this little guy out, and they were filming. Let me look at the size difference. You imagine someone all day running around like with this thing, and that was Jackson on the first Nunes trip. So it really depends on the trip. If I'm doing a group trip with the boys, then somebody is outside filming. If I'm doing a solo trip, the camera's on a tripod, and you'll be able to tell in the video, because when, say for instance, Jared or Jackson is following the car with the GoPro, it's moving. You'll be able to, the GoPro will move with the car, and you'll be able to see the car traveling a lot longer in the shot. When it's the camera sitting on a tripod, which means it's a solo trip, it's in one spot. There's no different angles or anything like that. It's one spot and it's one angle. That's the best way to tell. But yeah, I do sometimes get some help when it's available. Show us your new vlogging rig. Sure, okay. So I'll just put it in the case. So this is the new vlogging rig. I am planning on doing a video about this at some point. There's a GoPro Hero 9 inside here. So this is the same GoPro that I've been using for ages. And so we've got the GoPro Media Mod on the outside here. And then on the top, we've got the GoPro Light Mod. So I guess the only downsides that I have ever experienced with these are their audio and their performance in low light, as well as obviously the battery issue when the GoPros shut off when it's cold, but that's not something I'll talk about now. I'll talk about that in a different video. So I got this. So if you guys buy a GoPro, now this, I am going to make a whole video on this, but when you buy one of these, you have the option for $9 a month, or $8 something a month, to insure your cameras on a monthly GoPro subscription. When you do that, you also get discounts on accessories like the GoPro Media Mod and the lights. So I got both of these. I think it was like $150. If I wasn't subscribed to GoPro, they would have been around the $250 mark. Where's the dead cat? There you go. It's a high maintenance, aren't you? The dead cat. Here it is. So as you don't know, it's not a real dead cat. These are called dead cats. They go on the mic. But you'll see why I didn't put it on, because look at how friggin' ridiculous that looks. It's way too big, way too fluffy. And that's what it looks like. So if I can get a smaller one of these, then I'll use that. But yeah, that is the GoPro there. So yet to use it in action, but I also did get a little piece for the bottom under here that I can mount the GoPro onto a tripod now. So for those of you who don't know, I dropped this guy here, the Canon 70D, into the Turon River a few weeks ago, and since then the quality on that camera has been significantly changed. It's been a lot less than normal, so I have slowly started to transition to these cameras being the main cameras that I use, honestly because of space. There's nothing wrong with DSLR cameras, but I am really trying to compact my setup, and this I feel like is the way to go. Not to mention you can get almost 3 of these for the price of that DSLR camera. So that's what I've done. This is really bright. As you can see, it has 3 settings, and it completely eliminates the issue of the GoPros in performing bad in low light. This thing has so much power, more power than some of the torches that I've had. And the cool thing is it also comes with a little kit that you can put this light here, once you slide it off, and you can put it on its own little GoPro thing. Now the GoPros come with their little under attachments. Here you can put it on its own thing and have it separately if you need to. So that's the new rig, blogging rig, or that I should say. And it's this easy. If I'm sick of, if I want to use it for action shots, it is as easy as this to take it out of that and get it wet again. That's how easy it is. So what brand of winch will you go? Are you considering a King's winch? Will I consider a King's winch? No, I would not consider a King's winch because for me, not necessarily bagging out Kings, but there is a limit of things that I will buy from that shop. Some of them are very good, but when it comes to relying on, for instance, a winch, you are relying on that winch for your own safety and for the safety of your vehicle. And for that sense, I'm not saying that those winches don't work, but you buy peanuts, you get monkeys, you know. So if I'm going to buy a winch, I'm probably going to go with a nice, good quality one, Runva, Warn, Smittybilt, something like that with a really good reputation. So yeah, that light's got more power than a petrol Pajero. Look, I'd tell you what, I used to own a petrol Pajero, an old NL Pajero. The boys will know about this car, and it was a lot of noise and not much movement, so I can't really disagree with that. Where we put the new 12-volt system, I will put it in the compartment where the third row seats used to go. So in the back of my car, and the very back there's a little compartment underwell where the bottle jack is, and there's also the tyre iron under there, and plenty of space under there for me to put the new system in. I actually test fitted it today. It fits perfectly in under there, so I'm really keen to get that on the go. Just waiting on a few more components for it before I give it the green light and start wiring it in, so really keen for that. Favorite spot in the Blue Mountains? Look, I haven't done an awful lot in the Blue Mountains. I've really only been to 3 places many times, and I'm not going to count Nunes as a part of the Blue Mountains. I feel like that. Well, it is, but when I say Blue Mountains, I mean more like Blue Mountains National Park type of things. And Nunes is a part of the Wallamai National Park. So Nunes is, I mean, if I had to choose, Nunes would definitely be my favourite spot in the Great Dividing Range so far that I've been to, which is the Blue Mountains. But in the Blue Mountains National Park, I've been to Old Ford Reserve, Dunphy's Campground, Euroka Campground, and Murphy's Glen. So I would definitely have to say it depends. For wildlife, Euroka Campground, it has to be, and for convenience, like it used to be so close to home, and it's nice and close to the shops. Murphy's Glen for camping out a vehicle, because you can you can use your vehicle there. At Euroka you cannot. Old Ford Reserve was awesome, right down by the river, but I don't think that's a part of the national park. That's a part of Blue Mountains Council. It's a council reserve, but I'd have to say they all kind of tie for that in their own respect, because they all have their own advantages. Any recommendations for a nice spot near Lithgow for a medium off-road caravan? Yeah, look, there's tons of places depending on your vehicle that you could get a medium-sized off-road caravan. Probably Lake Lyle, somewhere like that. Nunes Campground, you can get a medium-sized off-roader down into there. That was good. We actually did do that. We took the Lotus Freelander down in there, and that's a 21'6" van without the drawbar. It's about a 26-foot van, and it got down there easily. Iron Jack. Yeah, look, I don't know about Iron Jacks. I don't drink them a lot. I drink a lot of craft beer, like Bolter, XPA, sometimes a Colonials, Young Henry, Newtowners, and lately I've been drinking a lot of Irish whiskey, so kind of swayed away from those type of beers lately, but look, Iron Jacks are okay. I wouldn't say no to one if it was given to me. Do you sell your banner stickers? I kind of touched on this earlier. It's possible if people want them. I don't sell them on like my website or anything like that, but if people want them, then feel free to email me. Email is vikingsmedia@gmail.com, or it's in the about section of my YouTube channel if you guys want them. I can have them organized. Price will vary on how many people want. I have a good guy, Mick knows the guy that is organizing all of that. However, it's just obviously the payment that needs to be finalized, as you know, I did try and get some made up, but there's just some issues there with people bailing. So if people are interested, I can organize them, but yeah, they're not officially for sale. Do you have any sponsors? I've got Mud Ducks 4Drive Touring, Unpro Adventures, and Shad Donahue. They each pay me 10k a video to have their stickers up on the wall. But aside from that, no, I don't have any sponsors. How many big trips do you have planned in the coming year? This is really going to depend. I'd like to do at least 2. We've got this big end of year trip coming up that you guys are sort of know about. Big 2-weeker. I'd like to do 2 next year at least, nice trips. And when I say big trips, I mean from 1 to 2 weeks long. I'd like to do at least 2. Obviously, one of them will be at the end of the year, and one of them I'd like to put in the middle somewhere. We'll see, because as we go right now, you know, we can't do anything. So 2 at least. So what's the longest you've spent off grid? Not really that long, I'd have to say. Probably when we went to Yalwal, so 3 days, I'd have to say, is the longest that we've been off-grid camping. But in the caravan, I think when we went up the Red Centre, across the Nullarbor, things like that, you know, we were off-grid for a few days there at a time. But I was fairly young, so I don't really remember, you know, like the amount of time that we spent off grid, but there were a few times there where we didn't see people for a while. So that brings us to the end of the questions. Yeah, Steve, look, the email is actually really old. That used to be the name of this channel. The channel used to be named Vikings Media, not Vikings 4x4 and Adventure. So that's where that came from. Because I was doing videos that weren't, you know, I was just uploading random home videos. They weren't necessarily of a specific topic. You know, I had like cars and stuff on here. So yeah, since then, obviously it's changed now. Everything is very much Vikings 4x4 and Adventure. But yeah, the email it's that old. It's stuck. I think it's 5 years old this year. So the email. So yeah. So if there's any more questions that you guys want to ask, go away in the comment section below. Hit me with them. And if not, then I will most likely see you guys on Wednesday for a next live stream that I have not figured out what to do yet. So, oh, wait, no, hold on, you guys. That's right. Hold on. We're not done yet. It's now time. It is now time to announce the winner of the burger competition. Right, so I guess that's actually why everyone's here anyway. So, a little bit interesting with this one. We had a couple of people weigh in. Alrighty, let's have a look-see here now. It is kind of early days at the moment for this as well. Technically, because we haven't released the next competition. I don't know whether we want to determine the winner now, or whether we want to wait until next Monday after we've had a good week. A good week for the results to be kind of finalized. Discuss Mick's latest video for the next stream. What is your next video, Mick? Yes, Lake Wallace is a very nice place. I have not been there, but it is on my to-do list, that is for sure. There's so many spots around Lithgow that I really want to check out, and something that I really wanted to try and start getting into, is back into is bushwalking. Jared and I used to do a lot of bushwalking, like Wentworth Falls, for instance, cathedrals. We used to love doing that. I'd also, at some point in my life, really want to do some canyoning and stuff like that, get involved in that kind of stuff. Who's winning at the moment? I think that at the moment, two people are tied for the number one spot. I think that was the last time I checked, which was yesterday. So let me just have a quickie look here. All right, so one, two, three. At the moment, there's a very clear winner, actually, from what I'm looking at here. A very, very clear winner at the moment. So it depends. Do we want to let this roll out for a week, or do we want to decide it now? So the person who is leading by 3 votes. So look at me. I'm glad you didn't take that personally. I'm glad you've jumped onto the bandwagon for that one. So yes, at the moment I'll read them out to you guys. So we have got 2 votes for Shad. A vote for Mick and I. 1, 2. Oh, okay, no, sorry, we are tied. And 2 votes for Unpro. So we've got 2 votes for Shad, 2 votes for Unpro, and 1 vote each, Mick and I. So it's a tie at the moment. I was wrong. I thought that Unpro had 3 votes. So we have to break the tie. So I think we'll see how it's looking on Wednesday. So you guys get onto it. Make sure you advertise that around. Get all of your minions to vote for you guys in the comment section of that video. And we will see either on Wednesday or next Monday who breaks the tie between Shad and Unpro. So there it is at the moment. At the moment we're tied. That's actually pretty close. It's not bad, to be honest. So we're tied at the moment between Unpro and Shad. Well, Mick, you can't vote for yourself, Mick. Unfortunately, that's I wouldn't say cheating, but bending the system a little bit. You think it's you, Unpro? Well, look, you know what? Yours was out of the box, I got to say. So at the moment, I can't actually announce a winner at the moment because there isn't one. You and Shad are tied at the moment. So Steve, it's all right. I was like that too. I think Unpro voted for me because it felt sorry for me too. So it's fine. Oh Jesus! If I get my kids to vote, is that cheating? No comment. No comment. They got a comment on the YouTube video. That's a vote. All right. Those are the rules. You can't vote for yourself, and if it's commented on the YouTube video, then it's a vote. All right. So yeah, look, in the end, everyone is a winner in this competition. We're not handing out gold medals or anything like that. I definitely liked. Everyone had a good mix of everything. The fact that Mud Ducks, was able to make a good burger without onion in any of the ingredients. I mean, that's a commendable effort. I do actually through one of my previous jobs know what it's like to have to cater for someone who is allergic to onion, and it's fairly commendable, I have to say. It's a good effort, and I'm sure that it would have tasted good. Yes. So for the final time, where I wouldn't say it's cheating if you get your kids to vote, because they'll probably vote for Unpro in a extremely traitorous, backstabbing move. You know. Who knows? All right, so we'll talk about this on Wednesday. I still haven't figured out what we're going to do yet for a video on Wednesday. I think I've blabbered on for long enough. Yeah, well, look, you know what? Unpro, Shad, that's a good point right there. Unpro does pay very well for, shit like this, like, look at that. I haven't seen the 10K transferred yet, Unpro, but I'm sure it's coming. Mud Duck sent me the money a while back, so, Mick, you too, mate. Thanks for the transfer. The money's been put to really good use already. I'm still waiting on the sticker, but already put it to good use. I'm joking. They didn't give me any money. Alrighty, guys. I think that is going to do us for this one. I think I'm just talking about crap now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll see you on Wednesday at 7 p.m. For our live stream. We will relive some adventure. I have not figured it out yet which one we're going to do. And then we will see if the tie has been broken between Shad and Unpro Adventures for the winner of the burger competition. And we'll go from there, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We've been on for 53 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. So thanks again, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Like the video, head over to the Burger Cook-Off video and leave your vote if you haven't already. Everyone is welcome to vote on that video. And that is going to do us. As always, we will see you in the next adventure.